you should try to get the information to the people that it's relevant to and not waste other people's time with stuff that's not relevant. But it's actually more just about like knowing people, right? Like you wouldn't physically in the 50-member church, if you have, 3 small groups, you wouldn't walk up to the person in the congregation that is one of the small
Right.
group leaders and say, "Hey, are you in a small
totally.
group?" Like you would know that. You just
But
wouldn't.
if you have 40 of them, that gets really hard.
It gets different, but my point is that that about the person, so you wouldn't go have that conversation with them. So why are you sending them the email or the text or the in-app message or something like that? That is essentially like walking up to them and not knowing them, right? It's kind of like tech allows you to get a little smarter about it versus just kind of look like, hey, pastor, like, yeah, I'm a small group leader. Like, you didn't know that, like. There's only 50 of us here, man. You should know. Yeah. But yeah, when you get bigger and bigger, that's hard to do. Right. But you can use tech to get smarter. And then you can start, where we're headed. Like you can start like recommending things to people just based on kind of activity that they have with you as a church that you may or may not even know if you're a 1,000-member church and you're trying to kind of take care of people.
Yeah. I think we're not there yet, but where I think we see things going, especially in, call it 250, 500 plus environments, is lots of data around behavior and collected. And can I ethically, within the privacy laws of states and like Apple's gone hardcore on privacy on the iPhone, kind of whacked Facebook's business model like upside the head, a year ago. So always got to be thinking about that stuff. But is what's coming next all this incredible information where I could, again, for the purposes of looking after and caring for the people that God has put under my care, serve better? Can I serve them better with this information? And it's hard, especially for men. Like when men are going through things, they don't want to talk about it. They're not going to sit in a group and unload all their burdens on other guys, right? We're just not going to do it. But man, wouldn't it be great if you were going through something like going back to the giving thing? If the giving consistency stops, that's an indication of something that could be really like going on, right, in the family. And in that real life world, I never had the technology to know this, but I always found it out afterwards that when people stopped giving, it usually something was going on in the, it was job related, marriage related, somewhere in there's a thing, right? And when it's cash and checks and we're putting in, you just, it was hard to track and you didn't even know how to do it back then. The finance thing is an interesting one because money is so important to people's well-being. And there's a reason the Bible talks about, not having a love of money, because it's the root of all kinds of evil. It's so interconnected into every part of our life. And I've always maintained that I wanted to know financial information about what's happening in the church because I knew it led me, the breadcrumbs were easy to find for me to actually start conversations, not about money, but about other things that could be going on. And it's, that information that we've built into some of our insights tools, right, that we're built now that are in their early stages. If church leaders want to opt in beyond Betty, the bookkeeper, like having this information, right, surfacing up lapsed givers and, all this information that we collect automatically now, I think is a powerful tool that we should A, not be afraid of, and B, start to think about how this could really help you helping people right in the grassroots of where they're at in their life.
Totally. That's what I think it comes down to, right? Like if I'm a dad of 3, it's summer, and if I open my church app and I'm logged in, like think Amazon, think Instagram, or Instagram's probably not a great example. Think Facebook, think TikTok. Like, show me content that's relevant to me. Show me if there's a VBS is coming up, or maybe the church has a summer reading program for kids that they've put, and like surface that to me, like show me that stuff. But the empty nesters whose kids are married and gone, like don't show that to them because it's not relevant. Like they don't need it. They need something different that's relevant for them. And like I would find that helpful, right? Like that's the church serving and being a resource to me in my like stage, right? Going like, oh, I know Frank has 3 kids because we have all this data on him and he's a regular and all the things. And so when we release that, summer kids series, we want to make sure it shows up, on his
100%.
phone to him. Right. I just think that's what it comes down to, is churches using their data to help people, and help serve the people that have decided to make that church home.
So what we're landing on here, the moral of this whole conversation is get comfortable with data, right? Be comfortable because it's always been around. Embrace the tools and the technology because they're going to help you be a better church leader. And ultimately, we think if our motivations stay correct, it is actually going to really help us grow strong, healthy churches that are serving families on a daily basis.
Well said. I think that's it. Don't be afraid. Use it. It's a mindset, right? Get in the mindset that your data can help you serve people better. And it's their data. They've given you access to it by being a member and being involved and doing things with the church. Just use it wisely and use it to help people. I think that's it.